What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Y'all know I got another banger for you, so kick back, relax, and come take a ride with your boy. Now, with so much movement this offseason in women's college basketball, it's only right that we make a couple of lists of the top impact transfers to watch who could be productive and even better at their new school than they were at their old school. But before we get into all of that, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest, and join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Look, like I said, there's been a lot of movement. There's some super teams that have formed. The best teams have geared up, and some of the teams that needed help got immediate help in the portal. Now, this is just part one, so if there's some names missing that you think should be on part two, throw them in the comments. Holler at me, because I love hearing from y'all, man. But this is just part one that we're getting into, and I want to start it off with a few guards. First off, Lucy Olsen, the heir to Caitlin Clark, joining Iowa. New coach, leading the way. Lisa Bluter has retired. Caitlin Clark is gone. Lucy Olsen is ready to lead this squad with Hannah Stokey and Cynthia Falter into the post-Caitlin Clark era. She was the third leading scorer in the nation last year, trailing only National Freshman of the Year Juju Watkins and National Player of the Year Caitlin Clark. I'm so happy she got the heck out of Villanova. I was tired of seeing her lose to the Marquettes and the UConns of the world. She out there averaging over 25 and still not seeing the NCAA tournament. The tourney needs players like Lucy Olsen, and I think playing in that system with Iowa, there's no better player in the country to try to fill the shoes of the great Caitlin Clark. On the year, Olsen is averaging last season 23.3 points per game. I misspoke earlier. She was averaging more in conference play, though. 4.8 rebounds and 3.8 assists, shooting 43.8% from the field as a junior with Nova, their leading scorer, and she has continued to just improve tremendously through her 3 years of college, man. From freshman year to now, she is totally a completely different player. But you talk about a hooper at 5'9" who wants to be the lead guard, who wants the ball in the crunch times. She wants to take those big shots. Iowa absolutely needs that scoring punch because they lost a lot aside from Caitlin Clark, Kate Martin, Molly Davis. There's a lot of production to replace. Lucy Olsen can come in with McCabe. They've got shooters coming back. You know what I'm saying? So she can come in and be that number one option for them so they don't have to carry so much of the load, those returning players, man. Iowa is going to look completely different. A lot of youth on this team, but they still have enough talent, I think, to compete in the Big Ten. And Lucy Olsen will be a huge reason why. Speaking of big-time scorers, one of the top freshmen in the nation last year out of Arkansas, Taliah Scott. Now, we know Arkansas lost the whole haul. Them players was jumping ship like it was sinking, y'all. Like it was the Titanic. Taliah Scott finds a new SEC home in Auburn, a team in dire need of scoring. And that is exactly what Scott can bring, a straight-up bucket, instant offense. I think this was a wonderful move. Auburn lost a lot of production from last year, but they still bring back some key pieces to be a defensive presence. And then they have a superstar, number one option, 20-point-per-game scorer in Scott, who set the nation on fire. She battled some injuries last year and missed some crucial games, but when she was healthy, she was on, and she was in that loaded SEC conference with the likes of Malaysia Fulwiley and Michaela Williams, Tessa Johnson. Like, there were a lot of good freshmen in that SEC, man, that she was competing against for Freshman of the Year honors. But Scott definitely etched her name as one of the most prolific scorers that we've seen as a freshman. And I expect her to get more shot opportunities and to be able to be that lead guard and execute more with Auburn. She's going to be asked to do a lot. Last season for Arkansas, Scott averaged 22.1 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. Now, she's not really known as a playmaker per se, but that offense is going to be the truth, man. She shot 40.7% from the field. I want to see her be a little bit more effective, but she's a freshman. She's going to continue to grow. Another smaller guard. You want to see those assists tick up. She's going to need to get these Auburn Tigers, her teammates, involved for sure. The SEC, man, if you finish 10th in that conference next year, you might be going dancing low-key. But Auburn played some tough games. They were in a lot of games. They're scrappy. They're tough. They're defensively. You know, they got the upset over LSU. Like, Auburn, man, they're scrappy. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make you work out there. It's no easy wins out there, man. And now what they were missing last year was a true number one scorer that could really... They ran out of gas a lot last year on the offensive side. Now they have an elite scorer, one of the best scoring guards in the nation, to come and shoulder that load and be that X factor and that closer that they were missing last year. We mentioned some super teams, y'all. Oh, my goodness. USC. Oh, my goodness. Southern California bringing in arguably the top draft pick for next year's WNBA draft in Kiki Iriafen. Oh, my goodness. The Stanford Cardinal had a breakout season last year, and she is looking like a candidate to be Player of the Year next year. Pairing her with Juju Watkins is just not fair. Ryan Marshall as well. Like, that front court for USC is going to be insane. But we saw Kiki really take that next step this year. Elite rebounder, good on the post, can hit the mid-range, just super skilled offensively, moves well, understands how to get to her spots, and be effective, man. I love the fit, and I think this front court for USC is going to be sensational. They have a great freshman class coming in as well with Kaylee Heckle, Kennedy Smith, like, who are starring for Team USA right now, killing it in the 18U Ameri Cup. Like, USC, man, they arguably bring back the best player in Juju Watkins, and they have surrounded her with the most talent she's ever played with in her career. Now, we mentioned, man, Kiki was a dominant force for Stanford, led them in points and rebounds, averaged 19.4 points per game, 11 rebounds, which was 9th in the nation, and she averaged 2.3 assists on 54.6% shooting for the 6'3 junior, who has just continued to elevate her game with more minutes and demand the respect of defenses. She's a capable passer, super skilled, and she will be the best low block player that USC has had in some time, respectfully. This addition just adds a whole other dynamic. I think safely I put USC at number 3 in the nation behind UConn and, of course, South Carolina. Man, you talk about a super team. We saw LSU try to do this same feat last year, and it didn't really work out with Hailey Van Lith and Anissa Morrow. Anissa Morrow was sensational. Let's not get it twisted. But they didn't go as far in the tournament as we thought, and there was a lot of hype around this team. So USC will have some struggles next year, but if they can build this chemistry, I think they were going to be incredible, man. They also have another star that's coming in, veteran presence, to help out at Oregon State, man, and Taliah Vonleh. Another great transfer added to this group that can score, that has played in the NCAA tournament, that is a veteran leader, that is a calming presence for these young players, because there's going to be a lot of youth in USC's lineup last year, and getting a guard, or just a wing really like Taliah, is big time. Another guard I'm extremely excited about is Caitlin Chen, the Ivy League Player of the Year, coming in for UConn, filling in that starting point guard role. I think she's going to be the starting guard. She's been around the block. She's played in the NCAA tournament multiple times. She is an initiator of offense. She can score the basketball, and she's just super, super, super efficient, man. I think she comes in and fills that role for Nika Mule. No slight to KK Arnold, Cadence Samuels, Zabel, Chelly coming in. Like, no disrespect to any of these guards that are coming back. Ashlyn Shade, Paige Beckers, no disrespect. But I think Chen is going to be ready to play immediately in this lineup as a starter and contribute, and gives them a different dynamic, man, to be honest with y'all. Because I was surprised Nika Mule left. I thought Georgia Amoore was a lock to go to the league. I was surprised that Nika Mule bounced. She did, leaving a gaping hole, a defensive presence, a leader, a steady presence at that point guard position. And that's exactly what Chen will bring. Her experience, her craftiness, her playmaking ability, her ability to shoot the basketball. Her defense is something we really got to talk about as well. She's a really good defender as well, man. Just making good at really making other guards uncomfortable on the opposition. So I think just those aspects of her game are going to complement UConn very well and be super beneficial. This was a major get for this lineup and Coach Gino Ariama. Last season for the Princeton Tigers, Chen averaged 15.8 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 4.9 assists, shooting 48.8% from the field. She's well-rounded, does a little bit of everything, and I think she was just a major get. Like, this was a major domino. This was a must-get type of recruit right now for UConn, man, and I think this is going to be major. I think with all the talent they return, AZ Fudd coming back as well, Aubrey Griffin, like, they have to be the number 2 team in the nation. I'm excited to see El Alfie be healthy, you know what I'm saying? Jana's getting right, one of the top bigs in her class. International experience, like, UConn is loaded top to bottom, and I think Chen is going to fit right in. She's already on campus getting shots up, gelling with these teammates of hers, these new teammates in her new environment. So lucky for UConn, the Ivy League does not allow grad transfers, but you know what? The Big East certainly does. Another player that exercised her extra year, speaking of grad transfers, Georgia Amoore, who I thought would have been a top 10 pick in the draft, joined her, not even former head coach, her head coach at Virginia Tech. She followed Kenny Brooks to Kentucky and is looking to make a name for herself in the SEC, and what a perfect building block. Kenny Brooks has done some really good things in the transfer portal, but the key to this team will be Georgia Amoore, one of the best point guards in the nation the last 3 seasons. She's won a lot of games. She succeeded a lot in the ACC, won conference titles. You know, Georgia Amoore is the real deal. She can shoot that rock. She's elite in the pick and roll. Nice first step. Big time shot maker, can get paint touches. Like, I love her game. She has the potential to be the top guard in the nation at the point guard spot next season, and she did her thing at Virginia Tech for many years. She's an assassin out there. Last season, Georgia Amoore, part of the huge 1-2 punch with Liz Kitley at Virginia Tech, averaged 18.8 points per game, 2.6 rebounds, and 6.8 assists, which put her 4th in the nation at 41.2% from the field goal. Man, when you're building a new program and you can have a steady presence, a reliable, elite point guard to build around, that was huge. This was the biggest domino for Kentucky to turn things around. They've been at the bottom of this conference, and Kenny Brooks is continuing to do his thing on the recruitment trail, and it's looking like he's going to turn this thing around a lot sooner than later. But a more huge get. Love her game, love her decision-making. She's an elite passer, elite court vision. Gets good zip on the ball. She may be the best point guard in the SEC next season, man. She's coming in with a big-time resume as a winner. And I love the fit at Kentucky. I love that she's going to be in that system. I love that she's going to be playing in an extremely tough conference. And I think she will be a nationally known name after next year for sure. Y'all, we saw the Baylor Bears wreak some havoc last year, man. Got some really big wins. I love their roster. They're returning a lot of talent, a lot of experience. But, man, they went out there and got Aaronette Vonleh from Colorado, y'all. Major get. One of the versatile forwards in the nation. One of them just took a big step forward this year with her scoring ability. Has a nice touch around the rim. Very, very finesse, but also can play physical. Great footwork, body control. Can finish through contact, can shoot the 3, can spread the floor, man. Like, I'm excited for her to join this Baylor squad, who, you know, was lacking a little bit of inside production last year, to put it lightly. The guards were definitely getting busy. They did have, you know, some solid post presence, especially on the defensive side, but nowhere near Vonleh's talent, man. She's going to add a different dynamic, someone that they can just throw the ball down low to and get a bucket and be a reliable low block presence. And she's also a willing shot blocker and rebounder as well, man. So I thought this was huge. This was a sneaky good signing, and I didn't really see a lot of people talking about this one. But big ups to Baylor, man. Last season, Vonleh averaged 14 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 1.4 assists while shooting 54.9% from the field. The 6'3 junior has continued to improve and add different elements to her game since she's been in college. She was a big part of why Colorado was in the running for that national championship this past year, one of their top scorers. So I think Baylor got a home run hit with Vonleh. I'm excited for this one for sure. Can we talk about Texas, though, man? Landon Laila, Phelia, oh my goodness. One of the top scorers, one of the top transfers. They lose Rory Harmon, and we think all is lost. Madison Booker becomes a very capable and reliable playmaker running the show for this team. And they brought in some good transfers. They bring back a lot of talent. They bring in Jordan Lee, the freshman, lockdown defender, playing for that U18 team. They get Rory Harmon back, Madison Booker in that backcourt, and now they're joined by Phelia. Oh my gosh. We talk about a lockdown defender. They are going to be strapping up on that perimeter, man. But then you add in the 3-level scoring prowess, her ability to shoot the basketball, create off the dribble, get her own shot, play within the function of an offense, and not be a chucker out there. I mean, this is just a match made in heaven, y'all. I think between Notre Dame, UCLA, and Texas, you can kind of shuffle them around how you want. But if you had Texas at 4, I would not be mad at you, because that is going to be a whole lot of firepower to deal with. They did lose some size in the portal, but they also brought some men. I think they are going to be even better than next year, man. And I think Rory Harmon comes out on a mission. Last season, Phelia averaged 16.8 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, and 2 assists, shooting 42.3% from the field. The junior 6-foot guard, big wing, is going to bring a very, very nice scoring presence for the Longhorns, man. They're going to be able to outscore teams, run, shut you down. That perimeter defense is going to be spectacular, and I'm excited to see what they do next year, man. It's going to be some great things going on in Austin for sure with that lineup, man. Very, very high-powered offense, high octane, very much so. Also, another guard that is starting on a new, fresh journey, a last chance U of sorts. Hailey Van Lith is going to TCU to be the number 1 option out there, staying in Texas, y'all. Man, I think this is going to be good for her. I think before she got, I know there's a lot of critics, there's a bad taste in our mouth from that UCLA experience. But let's not forget what she did in her last year at Louisville. 19.7 points per game, getting it done. Honorable mention, All-American. One of the most tenacious bucket getters in the country. We saw flashes of it in the SEC tournament, man, but it just never all clicked. Now I think she gets a much-needed fresh start at TCU, where she can be the number 1 option, playing for a team that was America's darlings for a little bit, undefeated, lost majority of their roster to season-ending injuries, and had to have open tryouts to have enough players to field a team, y'all. Oh my goodness. So it's just crazy to see, but it's dope that this is like a last chance U. I think coming into LSU, she was on some draft boards. Could have been a second-round pick. Completely played herself out the WNBA. I think she had a big summer with the 3v3 team. She's joining that team again for the Paris Olympics, the 3v3 women's national team for Team USA. So I think that playing against those pros, playing with the likes of Ryan Howard, is definitely going to benefit her at the next level heading into her last year of college. TCU, they're bringing back a lot of talent. Their coach is building something special there, and now he has another weapon in the backcourt, a go-to scorer who's played in a lot of big games and isn't afraid of the big moment. I think we got to remember, we're in this world where it's like instant gratification. What have you done for me lately? But Hailey Van Lith was cooking for multiple years at Louisville. Let's not forget, let's put some respect on her name. She's coming back as one of the most productive college players that is left from that class, with Caitlin Clark as well as Paige Beckers, who's also back. But I think Hailey Van Lith reinvents herself and has a big year in not an easier conference, but definitely I don't think she will be getting exposed as much on the defensive side or getting attacked. Maybe they can shield her a little bit better. But she got to work on that lateral quickness, dog, straight up. Last season for the LSU Tigers, Van Lith averaged 11.6 points per game, 2.4 rebounds, and a career high 3.6 assists, shooting 37.8% from the field. I want to see her definitely shooting percentages go up. I think she'll get more shots at TCU because she was like the 4th, 5th option sometimes at LSU. So I think, she was open a lot and didn't get the ball. I think that will change. I think she'll have the ball in her hands more and be able to make decisions. She tried to go and learn a new position under Kim Mulkey, playing more on the ball, ended up losing minutes to Last Terpoa, but she did average a career high in assists. So there is some, positive takeaways from the season. I think she grew as a person, and I love that she's not afraid to compete. She took everything on the chin, all the criticism, and she just got better, man, and continued to just get in the gym and put in work. So I think she has gotten better since she's left LSU, man, to be honest. I think just her mind, her psyche, her mentality, her confidence will be built back up at TCU. So I'm excited to see it. Now, that's a wrap for part 1, but y'all holler at me. Let me know who y'all want to see for part 2, man. Get at me. Holler at me in the comments. Let me know who we need to be talking about and what y'all think about this list and what some of these players are going to do in their new destinations. Holler at your boy. Let me know how y'all feel. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Till next time, hey, we out.